Hey guys, it's Willem. Today we're going to be covering a man known as Alexander the Great. Alexander was born in 356 BCE in Pella, Macedonia. His father was Philip II of Macedonia and his mother was Olympias, who was the daughter of the king of Epirus. From ages 13 to 16, Alexander was educated by the great Greek philosopher known as Aristotle. Alexander led for the first time when he was left in charge of Macedonia when his father Philip II went to fight Byzantium in 340. This sparked the flame that led to his soon-to-be empire. In 342 he commanded his first military unit during the Battle of Chaeronea. In 336 BC, Philip was assassinated and Alexander was crowned the king of Macedonia. This was the start of his great empire. The first act he did was kill all of the people in countries suspected of murdering his father. He conquered basically all of Greece around this time. He ruled as a harsh dictator enforcing ruthless laws. He next set his eyes on the large, juicy state that we call Persia. The triumph was that in the spring of 334 BC, he started his campaign through Persia with 48,000 men strong. He finally met people around Troy and they fought hard. They planned to get Alexander head on. Their line broke and Alexander conquered that area. From 334 to 333 BC, he conquered all of Asia Minor with little to no resistance. He reached the southeastern end of Asia Minor in the autumn of 333 BC. He kept marching south, and his objective was to isolate the Persian fleets that tried to reinforce their stronghold in Syria. Alexander pushed through easily, and the Persians tried to invade Asia Minor but failed. Another triumph was that in November of 332 BC, he reached northeastern Egypt. The people welcomed him, and the Persians surrendered, knowing they could not defeat him and his army. He was widely accepted by the Egyptian people. They accepted him as their new leader. In 331 BC, he began his advance into the Tigris River area. He conquered them quickly with only one little battle that he almost lost, but he won. Alexander had soon conquered all of Mesopotamia and had begun his large advance with his troops who had high morale into Central Asia. Yet another triumph was that he conquered all of eastern Persia and then quickly began his campaign into the Indian mountains. He quickly conquered all of the mountains within a year and pushed into India. In early summer of 327 BC, he left the mountains with 120,000 men and pushed hard as he could go into India. He was met with a bit of resistance, but took them with a grain of salt and conquered them all. He built a harbor at Fatala, which was at the mouth of the Indus River, and explored the river. He was surprised by the vast mountains. He shortly after rejoined his main army and was reinforced by another Greek army commander. The tragedy was when he marched through Georgia, and then his men suffered greatly due to the desert and shortage of food. Finally, a monsoon came, and that gave the men their motivation to keep going. He stopped his expansion and began replacing his senior officials. About one-third of his command were put out of office and replaced those he thought seemed fit. He began just fixing up his empire all along until his death. Another tragedy was when Alexander was partying and fell ill and died just 10 days later after he got the illness when he fell ill. He died June 10th of 323 BC. He should be remembered as a hero in the history of both Greece and Persia. He conquered basically all of the Middle East. He was like the Napoleon of the ancient times in the Middle East.